Welcome back, friends. In the series of recognizing hand, the structure of the hand, and what kind of owner of this hand is, or his temperament or character is. We discussed different hands so far, relating them to different personalities. Then we categorized them into three types of hands. First was your pointed hand, the second one was square hand, and the third kind is of flat hand. Today we are going to discuss the flat hand. This is a not so common hand as compared to the square hand or the pointed hand. Pointed hand is also rare hand, less hands are, and so are the flat hands. But they are more than the pointed hands, but less than the square hands. But you will normally find more mixed hands, the three types mixing together. And that will be our adventure in knowing, understanding what kind of hand, predominantly what kind of hand you're dealing with or you're reading. So, and then we'll come to that point next lesson, that what is a mixed hand, how you differentiate, how you read them, how you interpret them. So it's like you have a set of one hand, and then you like stretch it out to either be square or be pointed or be flat, or you just play around and make it in a different shapes. So predominantly there are three basic shapes, like a rectangular, circle, and triangle, those kind of basic shapes. The hands are also the same way in the basic shapes. Then they alter depending upon the personality and the time of birth and place of birth and the culture, the background, creed, and color, and all that, the racial impact, ethnicity, those kind of things. They impact your the shape of your hand and thus your character. So you will be looking into those kind of small points within the house, within the hand, that actually change that hand. So we had pointed hand, which were more intuitive. They were less hardworking. They were less caring about their food and all that, and they were kind of lazy, self-oriented, but they like to have be more artistic and well cared, well nourished. But nourishment in actually the sense of caring. Then we switched over to the square hands. Square hands were more practical, part of your daily life. They were part and parcel of your society, and they were everywhere and they make the society. They constitute the society. Now we switch over to the flat hand. Flat hands are actually they are easy to recognize, same as pointed and square. The general impression will be the flat hands. The flat hands are actually they will be narrow over here, and then they're going flat up. They are like a spatula. It will be going wider on the top. So this hand will be going up. It won't be let's say if I can make it. So it will be like very wide here and thinner here. So don't worry about the thinness and the wideness, because they could be a mixed hand. So at that time, if you can look at it right away and you can say, you know what, oh yeah, this is wider here, and this is very shallow or narrow around the wrist, or the bottom of the hand is narrow and is wider at the bottom, and then each finger starts up wider, narrow, and goes up as a wider. So finger is like this. So it's narrow at the bottom and wider at the top. The nails will also be the same way. I have a little bit of wider spatula type. So this is like narrow at the bottom and wider on the top. So the fingers and the hand will also look like that. So you're wider. So I have fundamentally I have a square hand, but it has some portion, some parts, and other areas are slightly more dominating in certain parts of the hand, making altering that kind of a characteristics in that. So if my index finger is a square, and it's a more practicality, more luck by action. So this spatula formation will give you more indication. It will add to it that quality, and we'll discuss that shortly. So they are very easy to recognize by the structure. All right. So okay. So going back to the idea that a flat hand is predominantly visible, you can actually make out from the structure itself if it's a pure flat hand. Okay, we'll go into the interpretation of the hand, flat hand, and these people are extremely and great planner. They are really a great planners. They plan. They plan big. They think big, and they are industrious. They are entrepreneurs. They are like everything about them is more engineering, practical, those kind of things. So they always think in a bigger context. They are always thinking something. They never think small. It's always big. You talk to them starting a project with one thing, they will say, okay, let's start with 100. So they're always very, very, they are big in concept and context. So they like to do mega projects instead of small time, petty kind of things. They always go big on mega projects or something that has to do with big things. So there's nothing small about them. They always think they are extravagant and they're extraordinary in their adventure. So this is why they are always this is because they in the background they something is compelling them to do this. Because they are very enthusiastic and courageous. They are not shy of of anything. They just simply go for it and say, okay, we are ready to take it, but we will take it big. We'll do this and we'll do that. So they are always ready to embrace any challenge. They can be really restless, and they can always be willing to do something. So you will find them ready, on the toes all the time. They are always there. So you talk to them, and you're just thinking of doing something, and you talk to them, and you know what? They have a plan for you. They are already ready to go. And it used to happen, certain times, and a friend is sitting and saying, you know what? I'm thinking of traveling. And saying, you know what? You're thinking, let's go and travel. So they go on a travel, and we used to go on travel. It really happened, and that's the nature of a flat hand. That you just don't simply plan. You just act on it, and you just jump on it, and you just go and you just do it. So you're always willing to do it, always. And the owner of the flat hand is a global thinker. Global means in terms of big, and in terms of comprehensive, inclusive of everything. They include everything into it. So they're always thinking global, planning and acting upon it. It's just not simple that they just think, but they actually act upon it. So because of that, they love to see the world. They go around, they go to places, they go and live in different places, and the world, and they want to explore the world. They want to see what is out there. They are always looking into things. They are also always exploring. They are always digging in and trying to figure out what it is. And this is how they satisfy their own soul. This is what they are. This is what their nature is. So these people don't stick to one place. They believe in action, and they break all the barriers. They just extend themselves. They just say, go, okay, you know what? We are moving on. We are moving on. So they are not backward people. They are forward thinkers. They move forward. They are truly an explorer. They explore the world. They go out and they look into things and they say why, when, how, when, where. They use all those whys and hows and buts and ifs. So, and then they look into it and they dig into it. And this is how they fulfill their dreams, by exploration. So this is very important for them, and this is their lifestyle. So you're looking into people who are actually so adventurous. They can go around the world in 80 days. They can build a plane and start flying around the world, and they can make a boat and go sail around the world, or they can climb Mount Everest or K2 or any other mountain, or do something of very big nature, very adventurous. And that's what they want to be seen. Yes, that's what how they want to be known. So being industrious in nature is a desire, and a desire to discover. And the owner of the flat hands are usually great in engineering. So because they want to see, they want to create, they want to build, they want to know. First is know. They plan, they know, then plan, and then they dig and they dig and dig and dig and they explore, and then they create. You know, so they are very good engineers. So if they are given the right conducive environment, circumstances, they become great engineers and craftsmen. They are really, what we see around us is because of them. They create, they build industries, they invent products, they do things for us. But there's also another part of their nature. They are nomadic. They just wander around, go to places, and they keep moving. They don't stick around in one place. So in this hand, we have to put some kind of an anchor to keep the person. So, but they are more mobile. They want to continue going. So they can be very good, great entrepreneurs. Actually, entrepreneurs are the one who actually start the business. They create them, they make them successful. They do everything about it, but they cannot run it. So they just make the thing, sell it, and move on to another business. So they are really a pure entrepreneurs. So they are creative and innovative. They just want to continue doing that. So in a long-term project where they have to just sit and manage is not their kind of a place. So if they create a company, they make a company and becomes, they sell it and go and create another one. They do not just sit there and manage it. It's not in their nature. They just keep creating different kind of companies, making them and selling them. And this is how they work out. So they are not the backbenchers either. So they are not back thinkers. They always think forward. So they move on, is sticking to one place, sticking to one idea, staying behind in thinking is not their way of life. So therefore, they are not afraid of experimenting. They experiment. When they move, naturally, it's an unexplored area. When they dig out information, they want to try it out. They always try it out. For them, it's very easy. It's their secondary nature. It's actually their first nature that they go and explore and they dig and they create, and therefore, they're always experiments are always there. They do meet. They can be unsuccessful for other reasons, but it doesn't stop them. So as a child, they don't fit into their own environment. They are different from other kids. They are different, so they are like they live mostly in isolation because they are not the right fit among the rest of the children. So as they grow up, now they have a nature of being a loner. So they move on. They go and travel, and they live in far-fetched places. They go to other countries, and they change their abode and their places to live, and then they continue their quest. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It's just one place to another place to another place. That's the way they are because they are creative. They move on. They want to see the world, knowing and doing things. And finally, because they are very strong in nature, the things they do, they're creative, they work very hard, so they are also very punctual, just like a square hand. They're punctual, they are they're well built, they eat very well, they are very conscious about their food, so they want to eat good. They are very extravagant. They like to, it's not the right word, but but yeah, they want to show off. They want to be seen as people with good clothes, with a nice car, a nice house. They want to be seen as that, like the unlike the pointed hand, they don't care how, what people think about them. They are more into their brain. But square hand, they don't care about and those things, but they care about how to put the society together. So they're the bonding. Here is the people who are creating for everybody else. So they want to be, they want to take credit for that. In other words, they want to be have a tab. Say, okay, well done, Nadeem Bukhari. It's a good job. So if nobody appreciates them, they appreciate themselves. So for this reason, they are hard worker, and they for the lifestyle they want to have. They work very hard for that, and they want to be seen as such in the society they live in. So they want to be a showcase among others. Look, this is what we did. How successful! It's a kind of a message to others. You know what? Work hard, do for your life, and this is how you live. This is the reward. So and they are not shy of it because they're forward thinkers. So it's not they want to throw it on other to impress other people. It's just that they want to convey a message. Look, I'm working very hard, and this is my life, and this is how you need to live. So it's a slightly different thinking. So therefore, sitting idle is not in their nature, and that's flat hand. So we have covered the three type of hands. So pointed hand and the square hand, and now the flat hand. And these are pure hands. There's no mix and match. So the next step in next video, we are going to discuss a mix hand, where in mix hand there will be all sort of three hands. In maybe there's a pointed finger, index finger, and a flat satin finger, or a square sun finger, or the other way around. It could be your palm could be pointed, and your fingers could be this and that. So we will look into that, and you will see, without even getting into lines yet, we are already knowing the kind of person who owns the hand and which way is falling. A tendency of the hand is fundamentally, if it's a square hand, it has a tendency of going towards a pointed hand. So the square person, who is supposed to be a practical person, is part and parcel of the society, is actually going towards more intuition. That means more creative, but the other way maybe is doing the job as a thinker. On the other hand, if a square hand becomes more has some flat hand tendencies, so probably the flat hand is actually more creative and more industrious and all that in nature. So where a square hand is more fixed person, part of the gear and part and parcel and fulcrum of a society, keeping the society together. Now he's acting as a person who is more creative. It could be industrious within the environment he is stuck in. He's like being immobile. He doesn't like to go away to too many places, move around. He likes a status quo, whereas flat hand doesn't like the status quo. They move on. So in certain nature, sometimes people have a slight flat hand. So what you do is you take vacation every 4 months. You go on climb and come back. You go to summer vacation and come back and do those kind of things, because some part of it is a different kind of hand in your square hand, or um, in your flat hand, or within even pointed hand. So what if you have a finger which is square, or maybe a thumb or something that is giving you a square nature, maybe a little more fixed, being part of the society. So you do adapt to certain things. This is where you become a unique person. And this is where you're known with the unique qualities. Otherwise, all hands look same. So I'll see you in the next video. In the mixed hands, it's going to be a very long topic again. Mixed hand is the hand where we are going to discuss everything. Most probably we'll also start getting into lines, different kind of lines, how they impact on a different hand. But I'll try to see if I can keep away the lines themselves from the structure of the hand, because they're both entirely. Lines are more like how hand it gets impacted, externally influenced, whereas hand itself is the nature of a person, how a person is built and made. The lines influence those that making. They alter the personality of a person, and when things are happening to a person. So it talks about event and time and the timeline and the event itself, the events themselves. So we will be looking into that in a great detail. So hopefully, if you have liked, hopefully you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, like the video, leave a comment. I need to make this channel successful so it can go out to a lot of people. They can enjoy this. They can understand their lives, their friends, and their loved ones better. This understanding. There's nothing good or bad about a hand or a personality. Remember that. It's not, we just perceive them as such, but they are not actually good or bad. And it's just the tendencies sometimes they differ from us, and we don't like that. So we need to understand, if as long as we understand them, who they are, we'll start to like them as they are. So that's the reason of teaching you this knowledge, is to understand people so you can love them as they are, you can accept them as they are, and that's one effort. So I'll be posting next video soon, hopefully. But please do give me your feedback. This is very important that you give me feedback, and I get more energetic. I like appreciation. If you don't do that, I'll do it to myself. So it's a little bit of, with the square hand, I have a little bit of some flat fingers too. One or two. So it's a tendency of being more industrious. So I tap myself. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself. Bye.